Hello guys, I'm Raj and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today in this video we will talk about modules in Python, which are also known as libraries in like layman terms. So what is a library? So libraries is nothing but a set of functions which are defined and written by someone else, and you want to use or you can use that in your program by just accessing them or just importing them. So in Python, creating a library or using a library is very simple. So a library has a structure which I have tried to graphically design and to make you understand easily. So it's like having a container, and then you have a group of functions written in it. So which is something in layman terms or in simple terms, it looks something like this. So we have functions 1, 2, 3 up to n, which perform certain tasks based on the requirement. So this whole container is simply a Python program with an extension of .py file. So we can import it fully as well as partially. So in other like in programming languages such as C, C++, there is a kind of a thing where you actually import the whole library by just, or where you want to just use only one or two functions. So to avoid that, Python provides us the opportunity to only import certain specific things, and if you don't want to use the rest of the stuff, so it can be imported partially or fully. So let's go towards accessing or how to access a predefined library and use some of the functions in our code. So in this code part, as you can see on the screen, we will take a small example of math library. So we have a library known as math in Python, which actually kinds of performs helps us perform the mathematical operations in an easy or quick way. So in math we have we will take an example of two functions. So one is sqrt and other is factorial, that you can see on the screen as well. So factorial function, as the name says, it will calculate the factorial of a number, and for square root it will compute the square root of the given number. So luckily when you install your Python or even your Anaconda, so there are some basic libraries that are already installed when you complete the installation. So math is one of those libraries, so you don't have to download the lab package and install it manually. So you have the libraries installed in your PC, local PC. So now you can just import it and use it. So for importing a library, let's say for math, I will use the keyword import. So import, as the name says, it will import the library into your program. So, and I will write the name math. So essentially this line will whenever you execute this line, so all the like the math library will be accessible in your program. But so here the name math is nothing but your identifier that you that you can use to access any of the function that is present in the math library or math module. So that's how we can use math. And now in order to access the function of math, you have to use a dot notation. So let's say I use the factorial function. So I'll write the factorial, and then let's say I want to calculate the factorial 5. So I will get the value of 120. So this line will return a value of 120. So in order to use this value somewhere else, I have to store it in a variable. Let's say I take a, and then if I print this a, so I will get 120 again. So similarly, factorial, we can use sqrt as well. So if I write sqrt and then I run it, it will return the square root of 5, which is something around 2.23, which is a float value. So in sqrt you will always get a float value as the return data type. So this was like if I want to install or if I want to import the library or math fully into your system. Let's say I want to import it just like some of the functions that I mentioned. Let's say I only want to import sqrt into your function. Then what I can do, I have to write from, and then I will write the library or module name, and then import again, and then whatever your function name is. So in my case I will use the sqrt. So I'm taking the example of sqrt. So yes, remember, this is one thing to remember: you don't have to specify the this function parenthesis here. You just have to name, you just have to write the name of the function, then that will do the trick. So now that if I use this method of partial importing, or just importing a few functions, you can add multiple function here as well by using the comma notation. So let's say I used sqrt and factorial. So in earlier phase, when we are importing the library fully, I have to use a math dot notation in order to access the sqrt function. But here you are using the partial importing, so you are directly importing sqrt and factorial here, so you can directly access it using the sqrt name. So now if I use let's say 5 only, so I will get 2.23 directly without using the math dot notation. I can directly access whatever the function that I have imported from this math library. So just remember, if you want to use a specific method, not the all methods, you can use this from notation, or else you can just import the whole math library into your program. So that's how we can import a library into a Python program. So there are tons of library available online as well as in your local PC when you install Python. So you can directly use those libraries in order to perform your tasks. So it actually helps because most of the libraries in Python are like having the code in an optimized fashion. So if you write the same code in your own terms, then that code, like if you write your own code, it will run slower than the code which is in the library, because that code is optimized by experts. So I prefer, if there is no barrier of using any of the library, then you can definitely use those library functions. So moving on towards the next topic of importing libraries, you can use this aliasing as well. So if you remember the method of importing math, so here you have to remember what was your library name whenever you want to access any of the method or any of the function which is in this math library. So this math is very simple name to remember. Let's say I have a very complex name of the library, or even a big name of library, then it's very difficult to remember each and every character. Like if the case of the character, like let's say uppercase or lowercase, and you have to write it that in your every instance wherever you are using the function. So in order to avoid that confusion, you can use aliasing, such as let's say I want to I can rename the math function or the math library in your Python program, which will be limited to that code only. So you can alias that name. So let's say I want to alias the math as empty, so I can use this as notation or using this as keyword. So I will write import math as empty, so which will essentially create the alias name of math as empty. So I can use all the functions that were in math using this empty notation, or empty notation, if I say it correctly. So you can access the same methods like just by using this empty. So that was about aliasing a name. So let's move on towards more interesting part that I wanted to cover in this video, is how to create your own library. So I have mentioned about this in my first video as well, where I said that it's very easy that you can create your own library. So now I'll show you how to create your own library or own module. So first of all, you have to create a Python program with a .py notation. So remember guys, if you are using a Jupyter notebook, then it will have a extension of .ipynb. So in order to have a library, you have to create a Python file which has .py notation. So you can create a simple empty Python file in your Jupyter console as well. So you have to create, you can use the new and then go to text file, and then you can easily rename the text file as, let's say, my first module. Let's take a simple name with all lower cases and .py as an extension. For easiness, I will take the basic 4 mathematical operations as the function that I want to have in this library. Let's say addition, subtraction, division, and multiplication. So I will write 4 functions. So and I will take 2 numbers as an input. So I will write addition a comma b. I will just keep the code simple for now in order to make you understand. I will return the so this is the code of my 4 functions that I have in my library. So in division I will check for if the denominator is non-zero, and then I will save this code. So now and make sure that you have this .py file in the same directory that you are having the Jupyter notebook in order to access that. So now that I have saved this file in the same directory as my first module.py, now you can easily import your own library. So okay, so now you can use the import notation or import keyword, and then you have to write the same name as your .py file has. So my first module. So now now that I have imported everything or they imported my library, now let's say I want to I have 2 numbers 5 and 10, and I want to calculate the addition of those 2 numbers. So let's say my first we can directly use alias as well. So let's say my, as I have taken my as the alias of my imported library, addition 5 comma 10. So it is giving me a value of 15. So yes, my library has been imported and I can easily access all of my functions. So let's do it in some other way as well. So let's say I import only a certain function into the system or into this program. Let's say I import multiplication, or let's say division only. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so I'm getting the output as 2. So yes, my all, like I have used both of the methods to access my library. So that's how you can create a library. So this was a very pretty basic example. So you can try out different things, and if you found something interesting, then you can ping me on the comment section, and I will be more than happy to help, or more than happy to know what you have achieved. Even if you have any doubt, you can contact me there as well. So that's it in this video, guys. Take care of your guys, take care of your health, and we'll meet next time. Keep liking, keep sharing, keep commenting on this channel. If you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe it. Till then, this is Raj signing out.